Hello everyone and welcome to a video tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to play against the Budapest Gambit with the white pieces. That usually starts after d4, knight f6, c4 and e5. Here we're going to be accepting the gambit. Black hopes to win the pawn back various different ways. With both knights, usually bishop is going to give check, then queen is going to come to e7, and eventually they're going to be getting the pawn back. The question is, what kind of position will we end up in with white when they're going to get the pawn back? So we're going to start with bishop to f4. That's a preferable move order above knight f3. They're going to be continuing to attack the pawn. We're going to be playing knight to f3, and we're facing a check. And here, there are a couple of different moves that are possible. We're simple people, so we're going to play a very simple move. Knight to d2. We don't want to be dealing with those damaged pawn structures or anything like that. Very solid. Here, black is going to be playing queen e7 and apply massive pressure on this pawn on e5. So we're simple people. We're going to be choosing the simple development move, pawn to e3, in order to get the bishop out later on. They play knight to e5, we have one exchange, and here we're saying what you're going to do with this bishop. a3 is played. Typically, people are going to be taking. As you can see, white's pawns can further harass the black's bishop if the bishop is going to retreat, so there's almost no choice but to take for black. We're going to be taking back, and here, most of the people are going to be defending the knight with pawn to d6, which will also, in some cases, open up their light square bishop. This is a very forced line. Now, only here there are possible branches. For example, some masters even have tried castling over here, and that is inaccurate because white can play c5. What c5 move does is it going to be preventing easily d6 by black. If they're going to play that move, it's going to result in an isolated pawn, which is also going to be very weak on the open file. You may be wondering, what happens if they're simply taking the pawn? Well, here is the trick, that we have rook to c1 skewering the queen and pawn. And also the queen needs to keep an eye on the knight. So they go queen to d6, and here we can simply take, damage their pawn structure, and one grandmaster level game has seen the following line, where the bishop is undeveloped, white's development is super easy, there's an isolated pawn, simply bad for black. So this is how we can punish this inaccurate move order of castling before they play d6. So let's say they play d6. We're playing against very simple moves, bishop to e2, castles, castles, and let's say they're playing inaccurate bishop e6 again. I want to show you that idea, c5, which is going to come again and again in our repertoire. c5 is played, which is pretty much punishing this dubious move, bishop e7. So rook fd8 has been tried. And after taking on d6, they must take with pawn. Because if they take with the rook, we have queen to c3, and there's just too much pressure on the knight. The knight can't move because they'll drop the rook. Obviously, if f6, you can simply then collect it, and we're pawn ahead at the end. And after they take with the pawn over here, we can simply play moves like rook c1, rook d1, and our middle game is going to be based around attacking this weak pawn on the d file. The main line is to play b6 and develop the bishop over here. White prepares the idea c5 again. That is our main idea in all of the lines we have looked so far. D takes c5 is most popular. Of course, we're already threatening to take over here. And I think that if they play a move like rook d8, we can again simply take and have similar ideas. Like if they take with the rook, queen c3 seems to be giving enough combined with the bishop pair for white for massive advantage. So they're taking on c5, taking back, rook to d8, and white's play is going to be along the b and c files over here, together with the bishops that are known as the bishop pair advantage in completely open position. So this is the best that black can get. Rook to d5 typically is played, c takes, a takes, and rook c1, where we end up in this middle game. So I think white has pressure against c or b pawns. Black has some compensation to attack the a pawn, but in completely open position, white's bishop pair is giving a very comfortable game start from the middle game here for white. And I have been having a pleasure to be playing these positions when black played well enough to first of all get to this. I hope you enjoyed this class and you're going to be more comfortably playing now against the Budapest Gambit. Looking forward to hearing your results. If you want, consider hiring me as your personal online chess coach. My contacts are there on the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class.